Hey everyone, and happy Saturday, Sunday. It's Sunday, it's Mother's Day, that's right. So, first, let's start off by wishing everyone a happy Mother's Day to every type of mom that's out there. I don't care like who you're a mom to or what you're a mom to, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to wish you a happy day. And for everyone that this is a struggle, well, I hope that you get through today and that it is not too difficult on you. So, welcome to Virtual Vegfest Live. I'm Helene, and we are sponsored this month by Shroom Meats. If you don't know Shroom Meats, you totally should check them out at shroommeats.co. Very interesting for me to have a mushroom-based product as a sponsor of this, because I hate mushrooms, but I like Shroom Meats. So you definitely want to check them out. And we also have a video on our Virtual Veg Fest YouTube, or it's a live on Facebook. I'm not sure which, but it's about me trying their product and shockingly liking it because I really despise mushrooms. But Shroom Meats is absolutely incredible. Women-run business, all vegan products, absolutely delicious. You can use it anywhere that you would use any type of meat. So they are our sponsor, and we have a contest. Every month we do. You can win these really cool prize packs. We have 6 of them. And you can go to virtualvegfest.com and click the contest tab and then just enter to win. Some of the things you can do are things like subscribe to Virtual Vegfest YouTube, which is 25 entries, and liking our Greenville Fun Fest Facebook, or I think the Instagram actually. You can do that. Truth, Truth, I really love shrooms. Hi, Linda. No, yeah, shroom meat, but definitely not mushrooms. So, and then you go in prize packs from 6 different companies, which we really appreciate their support. And that's Follow Your Heart, Hodo Foods, Orgain, Crafters Organics, Cinnaholic, and Shroom Meats. You can win a prize pack from one of those companies. It's absolutely, oh, happy Mother's Day, Patricia. Oh, it's a bit of a struggle because of a grown son who rejected me, but I have so much love and support from my family and friends. Oh, I'm so glad you have love and support from your family and friends. I really am glad to hear that. And also that I acknowledge that it's not an easy day for everybody. So, and for those that it is, that's great. For those that isn't, well, we support you too. So, Farm of the Free today. Yes, Carmen and Greg are here, and they're in they're Georgia. Well, not South Carolina, Georgia. And they come to our events, and that's how I met them. I don't think it was one of my events. I think it was somebody else's. And they come to the events, and they talk all about Farm of the Free and the sanctuary and the animals. And what we're going to do today is we're going to delve deeper into this sanctuary life, because it's important for everyone to know what that's like, realistically, and how important it is to take care of these animals. And the reason we're on a Mother's Day is because they are like mom and dad to a lot of animals. So let's go grab them. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, you know to put them in a little box and we'll definitely address them. Here we go. Hey, Greg and Carmen. Welcome. So glad you're here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. happy like everything to everyone day. Because
every day.
How many animals do you have?
31.
31.
Technically.
Okay.
Technically, sanctuary animals. We also have the numbers are always, going up and down. That's just the way it is. It's sanctuary life. And so I'm constantly having to remember the number for when people ask that. And we have probably 5 inside of personal animals that we rescued before we started the sanctuary. So.
Yeah, they're important too. You have to take care of them and feed them and and do whatever you need for them as well. They just have the luxury of sleeping with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Exactly.
They all sleep with us. I would invite the cows in here too if I could, but.
Well, that would be, I hope your house is big. Because, Randy at Cows Come Home has that experience with Lou Moo being in the house. And that wasn't a positive experience after he grew up.
Oh.
As the baby growing up, he did a lot of destruction. But as he's big now, he's like 1,000 pounds or whatever he is. And he's wild. He wants to be in because that's what home was. Randy's mom to him, and yeah, he got in and he destroyed stuff.
Yeah, ours probably wouldn't even fit through the door because they're 2,000
no
pounds.
Right. Well, that's really a really good thing. But if it was Lou Moo, he would try.
Oh,
That's sweet.
sweet.
Yeah, so let's talk about Farm of the Free. Can you tell us about each of you, right? So whoever wants, I guess Greg, you can go first since you're the person
Yeah.
on my left. And tell us who you are, what you do, and then Carmen can, and then you can talk about the sanctuary and just go.
All right, cool. Thanks. First off, again, thanks for having us, and we love going to your Vegfest. We've been to quite a few actually, and every time we've been, we've had so much fun engaging with all the visitors and talking to people and everything. And it's always been so supportive for the sanctuary. So thank you for hosting all of those and this and everything.
Yeah, and I just want to say you're an excellent host. Like, you're amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Greg Pope, and Carmen and I are both the founders of Farm of the Free Animal Sanctuary. And I won't tell my whole bio, but I grew up here in Georgia, and I was in the military for 6 years. Got out. Carmen and I got married in 2009, and in 2013 we went vegan together. And then we started the sanctuary in 2016. Basically, that's kind of like when we started putting everything, our thoughts out there together, and became a nonprofit. And we had to sell our house, which was in Smyrna, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta, and in the burbs, basically. And once we finally sold it, it took a couple months, but once we finally sold it, we started farm hunting, I guess you could say, and we found this place here in Good Hope, which is about an hour east of Atlanta and 30 minutes west of Athens. And so we love it out here. It's the name is just great. It's really fitting for a farm sanctuary, I feel. And it's just beautiful out here too. We're on 10 acres, and we finally moved in 2017, May 1st, actually. So we just hit our 4-year anniversary a couple days ago. And like Carmen said, we've got 31 rescued residents right now. I think at the most we've probably had was like 36, but we've lost a few, unfortunately, which we'll talk about later. And I am on the board, and I'm a volunteer as well. So I do full-time work as a corporate recruiter for a manufacturing company, and thankfully it's 100% remote. So once I get off of work and on the weekends, I kind of put the farm clothes on and go help out when I, as much as I can, or do back end office kind of things, and help with the website or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a lot.
And he does so much more. I can't even tell you guys. It's like, aside from like doing all like the computer, like technical stuff for the sanctuary, the website, like
It's nothing fancy,
gosh.
but I try.
No, it's amazing. Doing the nonprofit work, like all the prep work for that, like
Yeah.
this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Greg. Like, yes, I take care of the animals, but like there's so much like behind the scenes that he's done, and yeah, I'm so grateful. And on top of that, he is a really great caretaker of me, because I deal with like a lot of like the actual stress of running it, and like I'm just constantly concerned about all the animals 24/7, and yeah, so he's not going to mention that, but he's done a really great job, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're sweet.
So anyways, yeah, my name's Carmen. Did you say if we got married or when we got married?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He went. Sorry. And I've been a vet tech for several years, since I was like 16 or so. So I have like the animal background experience. I've always loved animals. I wrote a paper my junior year of high school. Hated English class, but we were told to pick a topic, and she was like, just pick something controversial. And she threw out some examples, and animal rights was one of them. And I was just like, I don't know what that means, animal rights, but like I like animals, and that's just kind of, and so I went down a rabbit hole, and I realized like animal rights didn't really mean like the right for them to vote or something crazy like that. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, what is this? Just the right for them to be left alone and kind of like be protected, and not be treated, cruelly or unnecessary, like have any unnecessary harm happen to them. So, and just kind of the right to be autonomous beings. Like we all deserve, every being, human or human animal or non-human animal, what they deserve just being born on this planet. But so that was crazy, because I really have to thank English class, which I hated for planting the seed. So I went vegetarian at that time. Later on down, Greg, like he said, we watched some documentaries and we realized that we need to like fully switch over if we don't want to partake in the atrocities that happen.
We truly love animals.
Yeah. Didn't like realize all the egg and the dairy industry. It was just heartbreaking to really learn about what happens. Nobody talks about it. It's so weird. It's just like this big hidden thing, and it's like when you find out about it, it's very shocking. And we were like, wow, we definitely don't want to be supporting that. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't like line up. It's just so we did that, and I was quit working at a vet clinic and started doing like pet sitting. And then we just felt the urge that we needed to do more than just like not partake in like buying animal products and stuff like that. We felt like we needed to like spread the word, but I also have like the somewhat skill set to work with animals, but dogs and cats, as I've learned, are really different. Like it's been like a huge like awakening. And it's been a really, really big challenge, but we're doing it. It's a learning curve. And I lost my train of thought.
Like there's a difference between giving fluids to a dog rather than a chicken, right?
yes, that's exactly. So, so we realized because of my skill set with animals and his skill set, him being able to work at home and like the technical
flexibility of working remote.
Yeah. So we were like, well, let's do it, and like we had been volunteering at Full Circle Farm Sanctuary, and we got a lot of experience there, and they were really kind to take us under the wing, and still do. Like I reach out to them, occasionally and ask them questions and like, what do you do with this? Who do you like? What vet do you recommend for this? Or, any questions I have like that. And they've been great. And we've also volunteered at other sanctuaries too. And then, I was able to quit my pet sitting job, which was hard because I love all those little babies too, and I miss them. But I just felt like our calling was to do something a little bit different and be able to help more animals that like truly need it. So that's why, not that the other animals don't need it, but they're more exploited, I guess you would say. Definitely more exploited, the farm animals. So
yeah, what's your role here?
Manager here at Farm of the Free. It's my job now, which is like, it's my dream job. It would be amazing if I had more help, but it's definitely like my dream job. It's so fulfilling. It's amazing, but it's also very, very, very hard, which did not know. But I'm still very grateful for the opportunity and the support which has allowed me to like work here as my like job. Like I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you to Patricia. Because so much respect for people. I just saw it come up on the screen that have sanctuaries, and she's in San Diego and volunteers. So thank you for volunteering at a sanctuary, because it's a great segue.
Yeah.
COVID and volunteers. Oh, which sanctuary, Patricia? That's a great question too.
Because we have been to one in right outside San Diego, Farm Animal Refuge, and they were awesome. They actually taught us a good bit too.
They taught us how to trim chicken toenails on their roosters.
Yeah.
So that was like a little bit of volunteering we got out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see what Patricia says, and well, maybe it's the same one. That'd be really cool if it was, or another one. I mean, because you all, it was so COVID, and volunteers. Let's go pre-COVID and how things were going and running, and let's move into the last year and then to present time. Farm Animal Refuge at Campo.
Yeah, we've been there.
We hung out with Matt for a day, and he taught us some good stuff, and they're awesome. They've
Matt and Jordan, and I think there's one other person, but we didn't get to meet her. So
they've grown a lot since we've been there too. It's awesome to see that.
Hey, Ben. Ben and Jessica.
Jessica's our part-time employee. Actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, hey, Ben and Jessica. Glad you're here too. Thanks for watching. Yeah. So.
Oh, pre-COVID, gosh, oh my God, that seems so long ago. um, I mean, things were like starting to get a little intense because like we hadn't lost any residents in what was pre-COVID was what 3 years ago?
2019. Like,
No, oh my God, 2 years ago. No, we were
It was
3 years.
it was last year.
early
It was
last year.
2020. It was like literally like a year ago and a couple of months.
I didn't mean to say 3 years ago. I meant we were 3 years in the sanctuary before COVID hit, right?
Right.
Okay, so we hadn't lost any animals up until that point. We were doing great, which it's like that shouldn't be a measure whether you're doing great or not. They're gonna like you're rescuing animals, you don't know where they're coming from. Like they're probably gonna get sick and die at some point, like we all do. But all of a sudden, like COVID hit, and then we lost four animals. Like so that was like I just wasn't prepared for it to happen that way. But that's how life is, and you know, our volunteers dropped off. So meanwhile, the animals are getting sick throughout this. I'm having to give medications and stuff like that, and then we're losing them, and so like there's all this grief that doesn't necessarily get to get dealt with. And you're still having to like go out there and treat the other ones that are getting sick. Like we had something that happened to our chicken flock, and we have a lot of chickens. Like it's the majority of the animals here. And they're each beautiful, individual, amazing beings. And so, yeah, they get treated individually. But it's hard because when they get sick, like it can get a lot of them sick. So when you're one person, this was pre-Jessica, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And so, and then, volunteers kind of trickled at that point.
Everything kind of trickled. I mean, I think just like the economy kind of did the first few months, like, donations dropped and volunteers, of course, dropped. And, of course, we couldn't do events and go to Vegfest or anything like that. So, but yeah, the first few months were very hard, but then it did pick up, of course, and not volunteers, but donations kind of started again, and we started more fundraisers to ask for the support and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe in the fall last year we started social distancing with some volunteers, some very small groups of people that mainly knew each other already and stuff. And that was helpful. And then we were able to hire Jessica too, our part-time animal care giver and stuff.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot.
Yeah. Amazing. It's just been, we definitely still need more help though. Like it's so if anybody wants to come out, we would highly appreciate it, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's important because nonprofits are like the core is the people running the nonprofit, but it really the foundation is volunteers.
Yeah.
Because we all couldn't do what we do without them, and especially a sanctuary. For me, it's one day. Like someone comes out, I feed them. Sometimes I bring them there. I give them shirts. I do all these things. Thank you, love you, thank you so much for helping. But then they can go home, and they don't have to. They have another year before they can come and do it again. You need help weekly.
Yeah. And we do give incentives, like Farm of the Free donation gifts to continuous or consistent volunteers that come once a month or every month or weekly or something. And before COVID as well, we also did like Potluck volunteer days, which we hope to kind of get back into at some point. And those were great because everyone would just bring a random vegan dish, and we'd volunteer for like 2 or 3 hours, and then have some good food, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And those were really successful and a lot of fun.
So much fun. I miss those days.
Yeah.
I'm sure those are going to come back, especially if you can have it outdoors, and obviously everyone bringing their own food. I think that's safer now. The virus isn't. You don't get it from touching a ladle or a serving spoon. That's not how it's spread. It's spread by breathing. So outdoors, people can mask, unmask, or they can be vaccinated, and you can feel even safer that you're all together. And I mean, hopefully with all these things that are happening in the world, the vaccinations and COVID improving because more people are vaccinated and doesn't have a host to kind of go in and mess around, it'll start to lessen as opposed to increase. And then you can have people again and feel safe, and then the animals can all be taken care of and people can learn. I mean, there's so many people out there that think, I want to do what you're doing. Like, so many people, and we need them. We need them to say, I want to do what you're doing and have the means to do that. But there's like this but extends like a million miles. There's a big but there. Finances, land, the ability to take care of the animals, the ability to say no, and take care of the animals that you have in your care. And because I'm sure you get calls every single day to take in other animals, because they're your first priority, feeding and taking care of them, medicine, whatever they need. And time, energy, emotional time and energy, not being able to leave, you can address all of those.
Yeah, you fit them all. So.
Yeah, you did hit them all. I mean, I joke, it sounds horrible, but like, well, I think if I had known all the butts, that long mile of butts or miles and miles of butts, we definitely wouldn't have done this. I think what happened is I don't know, I just feel like we were so much younger and we were just like so excited about it that we didn't really think about all the hardships. And I figured that my passion would be able to push through those, which it has, thankfully, but I just never ever thought it would be this hard. So having said that, I think we just kind of it's like one of those things you jump and learn how to fly on the way down. I feel like we jumped and we've hit every single branch on the way down, and but we're still here and we're just kind of we're dipping and then catching the wind again, and it's just so but another thing I didn't think about, it's when you think of a sanctuary, when I thought of a sanctuary before actually doing this, I didn't think about the death, but it's no duh, of course there's gonna be death. And the thing is, I have a lot of experience with death because I worked as a vet tech. I had to be there with people as they said goodbye to their fur children, or however you want to address them, and that was really hard. And I don't think there was a single time I didn't cry and feel it with them. But I think the sanctuary is a little bit more intense because I know them, and I feel like they're not mine, they're the nonprofits, but I am their caregiver and I really care about them. And so I feel responsible too. So say they die young, all these doubts start seeping into your mind, and you're just what am I doing wrong? Am I, and then even if it's not, my fault, just the loss in general, it's a lot. And it's really hard. And I never thought about that before. I was just sanctuaries, happy places, we're taking these horrible, tortured, neglected animals, and we're giving them this amazing life, and that's it. And I never thought about, but you don't know their background, you don't know what they've gone through, you don't know what their body's been through. And a lot of them, they're bred in such a way that they don't live long. We have a lot of factory farm egg laying hens here, and we're constantly dealing with issues with them. We have one on antibiotics right now because we don't know exactly what, but she's had egg yolk peritonitis before, where they've used up so much calcium from their bones to create the shell around the egg that they don't have any more calcium to give. And sometimes they'll have shellless eggs that end up getting loose in their abdomen, causing serious infections and even death. That's just one of the many possible side effects of egg laying chickens and their reproductive issues. But this time, the same hen who had egg yolk peritonitis before, she I noticed on Saturday morning, I got up and she let her out of her coop, and she was just not acting right, and just kind of seemed like she couldn't get comfortable. And she put her vent down like she was going to pass a stool or something, but nothing came out. And she was just walking around like she was going to pass a stool. And then all of a sudden I see this big glob of egg come out, and she like yiped, or like kind of let out like a painful little screech when that happened, but there was no shell. And then later, because I had been consulting with the vet, she told me to give her some medicine and clean her off. And when I looked near her where the eggs come out, she had like part of a shell that was like stuck. And so it was like the shell, like when she was trying to push it off, push it out. It was so soft that it popped out and the yolk and the egg came out, but the shell stayed in her body. And at that point, it's like smushed and it's got like jagged edges. And so if you can imagine that trying to come, I'm sorry, this is probably not appropriate for this, but it's very painful. And they have a lot of issues, and they die young because of the way we've selectively bred them to produce so many eggs. And that's just this breed of chicken. I mean, there's the broiler chickens that are bred for meat. You know, they have so many issues with they basically grow way too big and their hearts can't keep up and their legs break because they gain so much weight so fast, and they're basically still chirping when they're slaughtered. They're still babies, like that's how fast they grow. And you know, we don't have any pigs, but there's issues with pigs, there's issues with cows, like all of it, dairy. And then I haven't even talked about the male side of the egg laying industry, where the baby chicks don't even get to live. So baby male chicks. So yep. It's a lot.
It is, and it is a good conversation for Mother's Day for people, for human women that have actually given birth to babies. They know that pain of giving birth, right? And then they know the pain, some, not all, know the pain of giving birth to a baby that maybe didn't live or has an issue or arm funky or whatever it is that baby was born with. So that chicken is giving birth to that egg. Whew. And I know it's painful. It's like I think people just have this misconception that chickens lay eggs, and it's like, oh, pop egg, oh, pop egg, oh, pop egg. And they're like, okay, that's good. And they just go run off on their merry way. I know that it's incredibly painful for that egg to be like laid.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. And the amount of eggs that they have to lay now is so unnatural to them. Like the chickens that we have here, they're laying 250 to 300 eggs a year, which in nature it's more like 13 to 20 a year. So imagine going through that pain and then all the nutrients that are sucked out of their bones and their body to produce those eggs. And yeah, like you're saying, like, I mean, a lot of that breed, they're not very nurturing and motherly. I feel like it's been bred out of them, which is also like another just like horrible, sad thing. But and that's my own observation. I haven't like heard the research on that or anything, but just being around them and spending time with them, like I've noticed the difference between our egg laying hens and then like we have some other breed of hens that are more wild, and like they actually will like be protective of their eggs, whereas like the egg laying hens, they'll just like go through the pain, lay the egg, and then like they'll shake it off and walk it off, and they're not like, you know, they're just like little machines. It's really sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is incredibly sad. So I think one of the questions someone might have is, if you have so many eggs, right, and you don't eat them, what happens to the eggs?
We feed them back. As long as they're not having like parasites and the vet says it's okay.
They're not on meds.
Yeah, if they're not on meds or anything like that, we feed them back to them, because it's a way of them. They're not ever going to get back all the nutrients, but we try to kind of somewhat replenish those lost nutrients by feeding them back. And we also feed back their shell. So I would either just like crack the egg on a tray and let them eat the yolk raw like that, or I used to actually like boil them and like mash them up with the eggshell, and they would eat all of it. It's really amazing. They don't waste any of it like us humans do.
Yeah, no, that I knew, but it was important for other people to know that their loss of nutrients, they do get it back by eating the egg, and they need that because of how they've been bred now. And it's really sad. I can totally get how if your inherent nature is to have like 12 eggs a year, and that's increased 10 plus times, how you can just get so like, oh, okay, again. Okay, again, and you don't. It's not like you're raising
Mhm.
anything from those eggs.
Right.
So you just and it's human nature to just keep moving and be like, this is my life, this is my life, this is my life, and in some form of sad acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I feel like that's kind of what's happened.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you eat eggs. That's I mean that's the end product is these poor chickens that end up in sanctuary. Well, this end up in sanctuary is great. The chickens are, bred the way they are. That's the poor part. And to see that and to be able to share about that, because most people have no idea, even if they visit for the day, they probably won't have any idea about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go
Yeah.
visit a factory farm
Mhm.
for a day and you'll have an idea because you wouldn't be able to walk into where those chickens are,
Yeah.
whether they're free range or caged. It
Mhm.
won't matter. You couldn't walk into the area because you couldn't handle the smell.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
So and it's really important. People don't know. Just education wise, free range doesn't mean that they're, like on the carton where they look all happy and they're on the grass. That's maybe like a handful of them daily for like 15 minutes. But they're in
Yeah.
like a warehouse with like 100,000 of them with no
Mhm.
one cleaning up. And they just open up a little door and they let a few of them out. And that's the rules for free range. As long as they do that once a day, they can call it free range chickens. And
Right.
that's what makes you feel all warm and fuzzy when you make your scrambled egg or your omelet. It's the reality is check on what the reality actually is and then feel warm and fuzzy while you make your omelet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what happened to all the males that were,
Right.
yeah, like, so there's all these females laying eggs. What happened to all the males that were hatched out? They're not meat chickens. They're not bred for that. So,
Right.
um,
When I was in the classroom with educated ethical choices, right? And I would say to the students, I would say, would you prefer to be ground up alive or suffocate in a bag?
wow.
Like what's your choice of your choice to die? Which, some of them would choose like, the ground up alive because it's faster. But I mean, that's what
Wow.
it is. The male chicks, that's what happens. They get ground up alive, literally, just because they're male, or they get put into a bag and it gets tossed into the garbage, and they slowly all die in that bag. That's the choice for a male chick in the egg industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
What an
Sad.
interesting topic to go to. See, I told you we can go anywhere, but it's important. It's important for people
Yeah.
to know that, and that's what's happening. Is the how do the animals get to you?
Mhm.
Well, one of the most common requests are roosters
Oh, constantly.
or chickens that stopped laying eggs that people bought, for their purpose of just getting eggs and
No,
stuff. But
roosters
roosters
is
are like
definitely
the
by
number
far.
one.
They reach out to us constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, we got these chickens, and we were thinking they were all hens, and now we have a rooster, and what do we do with them? We're in an area where we're not zoned for roosters, or blah 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 blah. And it's just like, it's just so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because people don't realize the consequences of their choices. And I mean, of course, I know they're not intentionally doing that, but I just wish we could all like download the information so we know like to stop supporting breeders and people selling animals for any type of use, because there's huge ramifications for our choices, and it's not the humans that have to suffer and pay for it, it's the animals.
Yeah.
Exactly. The
Uh,
humans, a lot of them in these scenarios don't really care. You're not feeding me anymore, so therefore, out the door.
Yeah.
Like, would you do that to your dog or your
No.
cat?
Yeah.
Some of them do.
yes.
You're
Yeah.
old, so you're peeing outside the litter box. So will someone take my cat?
Exactly.
What? I mean, you don't have a nice house if you want to have fur kids.
Yeah.
because they're going to mess up your house because that's they're kids. I mean, that like human kids throw up all over the place. You gonna get rid of your kid? You throw up all over the couch and the floor because you have a stomach virus.
Right.
Somebody take my kid. What?
Oh my.
That's funny.
You get like they're 12. You got 6 more years of mileage before that you can let them go out in the world.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
Yeah.
Well, when I worked at the vet, we did see that a lot, where people would come in and want to euthanize their animals because they were peeing outside the litter box, or they, I don't know, started getting into stuff, or they were blind, or this or that, And luckily, all the vets that I worked with would either adopt them or keep them at the hospital and then try to find new homes for them. But half the time, it was medical issues that they weren't treating, and it wasn't even. I never believe it's the animal's fault. So, but really, when it's a medical issue, they really can't help that. So,
Yeah, you have to take care of them. That's
yeah.
what you pledged to do when you took them into your home. And that's obviously pigs, chickens, cows, sheep, goats, turkeys, geese, ducks, cats, dogs, rabbits, hamsters, rats, whatever, guinea pigs. they're a choice that you're making to take care of them for the life of that animal. So please take care of them for the life of that animal, and whatever that includes. And if you run into hard times, sadly, we live in a society, and happily we live in a society where people have bleeding hearts.
Yeah.
And they're willing to help people who have issues or run, because a vet bill is incredibly expensive. Even with pet insurance, can be incredibly expensive if you're fortunate enough to be able to pay for pet insurance monthly. So when you have a lot of animals, it's not exactly affordable to be able to do that. And then you're still stuck with a bill when you get to the vet. They expect payment there. Your pet insurance pays you back later. So you still have to have the money.
Yeah.
So and then
I want to plug Tommy's Holiday Fund. Do you know about them?
I've heard of them.
They're great. They basically raise money for people who can't afford, say something catastrophic happens to their animal, and the animal could do well if they had the money to treat for whatever happened, I don't know, infected uterus or something like that. They come in and they just pay the vet bill, and then they get to keep their animal. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Tommy's Holiday Fund.
That's incredible. And if anyone needs that outside of asking for help from friends, I've been in that position where emergencies always happen overnight. They don't tend to happen during the day for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that is, but you're at the emergency vet 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, and you're looking at a bill that's $5,000, and you just thankfully I was in that scenario. Sadly, my dog had to be let go, but if he was able to continue, I was looking at that vet bill, and my friend, who happened to get up and come with me to the vet in the middle of the night, said, "Don't worry about the money. I'll take care of it. You can pay me back." So, I mean, if you're fortunate enough to have that support, that's fantastic. So, yeah, it eases your mind a little, even though you're going to owe money. It eases your mind to know, you can still do the right thing and not bring money into the equation in the scenario to influence your choices.
Right.
Because it will influence your choices. So, I mean, I guess that's a good segue to something, but I don't remember what it is. Is that funny? So, but yeah, we're talking about animals, taking care of the animals. I mean, gosh, Carmen, you were saying before we went live that you need to get away. And that's not a bad thing, because we all need to. I'm introverted, so even though you see me at the events and it doesn't appear that way, it doesn't mean that I don't go home the following week and see nobody, and want to talk to nobody, and take at least a full day of not doing anything whatsoever, right?
That's
yeah. So I mean, it's been hard on you because you haven't had that. COVID doesn't help. I'm sure without COVID, everything's kind of like more normal. I mean, you go through ups and downs of volunteers and all that. But what we need to do and find help for Farm of the Free right now is consistent people that can come and support and volunteer and have skill sets like a vet tech. There's got to be somebody that can come that's close by. You're not far from Atlanta. I mean,
it is a plus, but I'm happy to train like on stuff.
Right, if you have that interest, I highly recommend going to the colleges and getting interns.
Yeah.
That's where we got Jessica. She started out as an intern, and then she ended up working here.
Yeah, so. We've had another intern, I think, but yeah,
we get requests. It's just like for some reason there's like not a lot of follow through, or something always happens, and like, or they start coming, and I don't know what the reasoning is. Maybe they realize the drive's too far, or like, the work is a little bit more intense, or they're not really into all the wildlife that's here, because we have like wasps, and we have like little rodents that pass through all the living enclosures, and sometimes there's snakes, and I mean, it's a lot, and it gets really hot here in the summer, so we don't really know the reasoning, but a lot of times they're super gung-ho in the beginning, and then they kind of fade away.
Well, I would say, like, I don't mean like interns like volunteers. I mean like go to the colleges and get interns of people who are looking in the veterinary field, people who are environmental science, animal, if there's any animal ag. NC State here is an animal ag school, and we have the NC State vet school. They need to do an internship.
Yeah.
Okay. And they need to learn. And wow, the seeds you can plant by having them come and take care of the animals that they would typically eat and just kind of throw away, to see like how much care and energy goes into making sure they live.
Yeah.
You could change a program.
Yeah.
Because you bring in enough interns from that program, and they go back into that program with a different set of eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, the influence there would be absolutely incredible. So, I mean, you've got schools. I would reach out to those schools, and just because they can do spring, summer, and fall interns, and just keep a cycle going. And I know, like for Fanimal, Carol has like sometimes up to 7.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah, and they don't have to just be local. There could be some that, if you have the space, someone might just come.
Yeah.
And do like literally an on-site internship for 12 weeks or 6 weeks, or a semester is what, 16 weeks? It's been a while since I've been in college.
Wow. Yeah. But that's definitely something we're going to work on this year.
Yeah. Like we have things in place, board members, and we just hired, like, I say hired. She's hired. She's our executive director, but she has agreed to come on for like little to no pay. And she's working towards like getting donations to end up paying for her salary. But her main thing is to like help me out and find help for me and get the funding to, or whatever. She just like
has, grow, of course.
Yeah, help us grow. But mainly right now, like get us to a point where like, we're not feeling like we're like trying to hold our heads above water anymore, because that's not sustainable, and it's not good for the animals. Like it's not, like, I can't think clearly if I don't get like a break and rest. I can't do my job, so I'm really excited to have her. Her name's Jennifer Cochran, and before we hired her, she did so much like volunteering and stuff and work for us.
While on the board.
And she just has all these connections, and she has like a lot of experience with exotic animals, and so she's really going to help us. And I'll make sure like we tell her about the interns from the universities.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. But yeah, she's definitely going to help us build a volunteer base and internships, and to help us grow. Because there's a lot of stuff we have been trying to work on since we've been here for the last 4 years.
It takes so long because we don't have like.
That's Dennis, if you heard him, by the way.
That's
He's
perfect.
In the back. And so, anyways, we have like a welcome center / education center we're trying to build out of this 3-car garage that came with the property, and we're going to convert it into this space where, and then again, where volunteers and visitors will have a space to go instead of inside of our house and stuff. We'll have like our little gift shop and stuff. And that's one thing she's gonna help us, you know, build and grow, and that's where like the centralized meeting spots will be when we have events and stuff like that here on the sanctuary. And then we've also just built a memorial garden.
She did that too.
She basically did that, yeah.
She saw that, like, you know, she came in like in between some of the deaths, and she realized we didn't have any place to grieve these animals or honor these animals yet. And she came in with her family, but basically she spearheaded it, and like made us an entire.
And it's a beautiful space, and that's kind of another thing. We also have a community garden we're working on in a spot in a small paddock area that we have on the property as well, where we'll have, you know, fresh vegetables that we're going to try to grow and stuff. And that's like kind of another area of volunteers that we could try to get to, that if anyone out there has experience, you know, growing produce or gardening and stuff, you know, and they want to volunteer to do that, and then maybe go pet the goats, or brush the goats, I should say, if the goats are open to it afterwards, you know. But that's just something that, you know, volunteers could do, as well as helping the animals here on the property too. So
I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing. Like, we are like basically geared toward, we're trying to lean more away from the like petting zoo type of a thing. Mm-hmm. So we make it really clear, like, to any volunteers that sign up, like, the animals are under no obligation to interact with anyone if they don't want to. The only time that we make them do anything is when it comes to their basic care and their safety. Other than that, like, they pretty much get to do what they want. Like, we try to really, like, just give them their autonomy. And so, yeah, they're not here to entertain people or anything like that. So we just make that clear. And I don't know if that's like something that a lot of volunteers, like, it might rub some people the wrong way, you know, especially if, like, because I remember when I first got into this, I was like, like, and I was volunteering, I just looked forward to being able to, like, you know, smother the animals. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And like, now, since I've like kind of been doing this and like been exposed to different things, I'm like, oh, that's still not really, like, that's still exploitation. That's not really like honoring them. You're kind of not allowing them to be who they want to be, and you're not listening to them if they're telling you no. You're ignoring that. You're completely trampling that. And I did that for a very long time. But yeah, now we're pretty much we are aware of it, and we make it clear to all of our volunteers and visitors that that's what we do for our animals here. Like, they're not here for people.
Yeah, they just have to just send them into Renhurst's direction, and say, just buy Ren's book, and you'll understand.
He's the person that got us into this. Yeah,
she used to be on our board. Yep.
Yeah,
like, love Ren.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought that you were influenced by Ren, and you confirmed it when you were. So I was like, she's like Farm of the Free, but not full circle. Farm of the Free is who she was coming out to, and I'm sure some of those plans kind of got nixed because of COVID for her coming out and doing stuff on site with people to help them understand the depth of what she understands is. None of us will ever truly understand the depths of what Ren understands. But the validity of what she says and how to treat an animal, and that it's not up to us it's up to them. They're a living, sentient being. If they want to come to you, they'll come to you. If they don't, you don't go chasing. You don't bribe with food. You don't force them to do tricks. Just one of the things, like, she stayed in my house for a weekend when she came out. I know it was a lot of conversation for that whole weekend. I spent more time with her than anybody else did. And one of the things I was doing back then was, when Lady was going to eat breakfast or food, and I was going to put the bowl down, I would say, Lady, okay, give me a kiss. And she would jump up and give me a kiss. And then I put the bowl down, and then she would eat. And after spending that weekend with Ren, that stopped, and Lady did not miss jumping up and giving a kiss till I ate her food.
You said she didn't miss it? What?
No, like lady just she didn't miss it at all. She just ate her food. She didn't like stop and go, wait, I need to give you a kiss before I eat. No, she
Right.
just ate, which is what she's supposed to do, not give me a kiss so that she can eat. Meanwhile, I can go give me a kiss to lady and she'll come over and give me a kiss on my cheek, which is the
Oh,
sweetest thing ever. But
That's cute.
she doesn't have to. She just
Yeah.
chooses to. I'm like, you want to give me a kiss? If she does, she comes over and she does every time. So,
oh,
but she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to get food to do that. And that's a very basic Renhurst principle.
yeah.
And
Yes.
that's kind of what I was trying to say. The goats come to us and stuff when we were in their enclosure. Um, if they walk away, then we respect that, of course, and let them do their own thing. So, but they're like social butterflies, those two.
Oh, that's
So,
Yeah.
awesome. That's so gift shop. I'm only going there because you told me you sold book.
Well, it's
oh yeah,
donation shop, we should
we
say.
call it
Donation.
donation shop, but yeah, it's all farm of the free swag and then some other educational material like the two books that you
Yeah.
kindly donated to us.
Yes, yes.
Um,
No, many books, but two different kinds. Like
yes,
stacks
I'm
of
sorry,
books.
two different kinds. Yes. And then we also have some like documentaries that we offer for people and stuff, and then free educational material too. But right now it's just in the back of our house there where the light is coming from in the sunroom, which is also Carmen's office, which is also Dennis's house. He's our blind rooster, and so that's why when we build this center, it will have like a dedicated space in there, of course. Um, but yeah, we it's on our website though. Most of the stuff we offer shirts, hats, which is what I'm wearing, and we have stickers and magnets and hoodies and cups that are really cool and stuff. So yeah, it's
Pictures of the animals. Hmm.
pictures of the animals here, but not on the website.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing all about you and Farm with Free. If someone wants to donate to you or get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, so thank you so much too, Helene. We appreciate you having us and being here and talking to you and stuff. But if anyone is encouraged to donate, and if they're on Facebook, that's actually the best place because Facebook doesn't have fees. So we get the whole donation. And then, of course, we have a donation tab on our Instagram page, which is at Farm of the Free. You can also, of course, donate on our website via PayPal or credit card and stuff.
There's a Venmo too.
And we have Venmo, which is also at Farm of the Free. Um, and yeah, or
Or mail a check.
if anyone is encouraged to mail a check, our website is all over our. I'm sorry, our address is all over our website. Um, so yeah, and that's
It's
Farm of the Free. Org.
yeah, and Venmo's free. Farm with the free. No
Yeah,
fees. No fees at
there's
Venmo.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
oh,
passing money to you and to me back and forth, and you can make it public
yeah,
or private, but and you can
that
cute
is
little emoticons and you're like doing that and funny stuff, and
yeah.
yeah.
or you can do like those political idiots did and actually say what you were doing illegally. But other than that, it's but Venmo's free. Sorry, I
That's
went
cool.
there. But thank you so much. I learned a lot and we shared so much that people like needed to hear, and you know, the importance of training and volunteering, as Patricia said, with before you do something like this, you need to go to every single one that you can, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of you in the sanctuary world are more than willing to pull someone under your wings and say, here's the good, bad, the positive, the ugly, here's everything. What do you want to
Yeah.
learn? Do you want to do pigs? You want to raise pigs? Let's if you want to do pigs, I think you might want to go to Cotton Branch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they will take you under their wings, and they will share with you what it's like to raise pigs. And
Yeah.
for obviously for chickens or cows, Randy at Cows Come Home, 100% cows, with a couple of extra animals in there, but cows. And that would be, and again, there's so many. And then of course you've got, oh gosh, it's like completely left my head here. Well, Piedmont Farm Animal Refuge, Lenore will help everyone, especially teaching you how to say no and no and no nicely, but it hurts me to say no, every single day. And and Ziggy's, I mean, Ziggy's they've got lots of animals. They got horses. They bought property that had horses. So they inherited horses and, pigs and cows and a blind donkey, right? I think.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of awesome sanctuaries that, are so helpful throughout the world. But I mean, if you're here in the Southeast, there's so many though that are so helpful. So, and we contact and communicate with a lot of them when we have questions or concerns about some of our residents or, getting new residents or something. So
Yeah, I was
everyone's been so helpful.
Talking to Lenore about how to treat our sheep for arthritis, and she gave me some really good advice, as well as some other people. There's like a whole like Facebook page for sanctuary people.
Yeah.
We all help each other out. It's really awesome.
yeah, that's incredible. And you're right. There's that was just a handful that's local to us.
Yeah.
There's more that we didn't even touch on. There's so many, and each and every one of you needs donations, needs help. And I mean, if you're someone that gives monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, if you are prone to giving, switch it up, or even $5 every month, $1 every month, whatever it is. I mean, if 10 people give $1 every month, then you're on your way. And you can start a Patreon if you don't have one already. And I'm glad that you have a new executive director who is going to help you. It's just basically going to work to get paid.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
We'll be posting
She's so
about
awesome.
that hopefully this week at some point. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, again, thank you. I know the animals are calling. Carmen, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, oh god.
about posting about Jim.
Oh yeah, because like it's new. Like it literally just happened. Like we got approval from the board to hire her, so we haven't even shared it with the public until now. So
Hot off the presses.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You can just like go and grab that clip of this and use it. You're more than welcome, by the way. So, but thank you. And also, Greg, the fact that you work a full-time job and you help with the sanctuary, I totally understand. You need income, and thankfully you have that to help sustain as well. I know that makes a big difference, but it's also like double job. So yeah.
And again, thanks for doing Vegfest on weekends so I can make it.
I know. Yeah, I know. Me too. We're actually literally looking forward to traveling. I mean, it's been a while. So
yeah, I hope I can leave the sanctuary and come too. I've had to miss a lot of Vegfest in the past because of stuff going on here. So
I hope so as well. And thankfully, the Greenville is really close to you.
Yeah.
Like really close to you.
Gotta look at our calendar for that one, because of everything. So.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping. The Greenville is August 15th, and then Knoxville will be August 22nd. Actually, all my events are close to you. They're closer to you than they are to me.
Yeah.
So all the 4 that I'm going to have this year are way closer to you. So it's it's just what it is. But what was that?
I was saying that's definitely helpful if we can make it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, just let me know what you need, and we'll make sure that happens. Okay?
Okay. We'll let you know.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. Well, have a great rest of your day and taking care of everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
You're welcome. Well, thank you everyone once again for being a part of Virtual Vegfest Live, our Sunday edition. Next week, we are back to our Thursday and Saturday schedule at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We have Sally Lipsky on Thursday, and then on Saturday, we have the Cranky Vegan. And I have to tell you, I'm really looking forward to that conversation because you should check out the Cranky Vegan and on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, that's going to be some really cool conversation. So that is the schedule for next week. That is Thursday and Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Remember to wear your mask because, there's still a virus out there. The mask will help you like with any type of sickness, colds or stomach virus, which I actually just had one, but here we go. So wear your mask over your nose, under your chin. Make sure that you cover your nose because, it's connected to your lungs. And be kind to one another, especially on a day where people can be more sensitive, like Mother's Day. And I hope you had a great one. We'll see you next week. Thanks. Subscribe to the Virtual Vegfest YouTube. Remember to enter our contests. Bye.